Welcome into the Ravens Rundown, everybody. I am your host, Joey Petersen, and on today's show, we're going to take a look at some new Ravens draft targets just about a week, 5 or 6 days removed from the 2025 NFL Combine. We're going to look at two different categories, okay? Number one, I'm going to give you 3 players that I believe are draft targets at number 27. Guys, I believe can fall all the way to the end of the draft that I would love for Baltimore to pick up, and I think could be plug and play with the Ravens. And then we're going to look at some trade-up draft targets. What that means is some guys I think might fall from that 18 to 23 range that, in my opinion, could be a realistic opportunity for Baltimore to trade up and snag. Before that, though, make sure you guys hit that sub button, okay? We are 48 subs away from 28.5 thousand subscribers, okay? I need to get there by the end of this week, and to do that, you guys got to help me out, okay? Hit that sub button. It's free to do. Does not cost you anything. You don't get put on an email list or anything like that, and heck, you can just try us out for a week. If you don't like it, then unsubscribe. But if you enjoy it, stick with us. Hit that sub button. So let's start by talking about 3 guys that I don't think will make it to 27. 3 guys that I'd kind of be surprised make it even to 18. Okay, Mike Green, the edge rusher out of Marshall, who in the early mocks a couple weeks ago, maybe even a month ago, people were saying he had the opportunity to make it back to 27, some even back to 29 to the Washington Commanders. I don't think he makes it to 27 anymore. His stock has risen too much. Malaki Starks is another guy, safety out of Georgia. I think somebody's going to pick him at number 14. Of those 3 guys, he's the one I could see that is most likely to fall to 27, maybe even to 23, 24. And then Shemar Stewart. After the combine that he had, he's not one of those heavy stat guys, but his athletic profile, somebody's going to take a chance, and I think they're going to do it within the top 15. So let's look at my number 1 target for pick number 27. And again, this is just out of the combine. These aren't guys that I'm saying are my number 1 guys I want Baltimore to draft. But after the NFL Combine, these are guys who have played their way into being targets for Baltimore. And it's because Nick Emmanwori, the strong safety out of South Carolina, he just had an unreal combine. Okay, you asked me, Joey, how unreal was it? Well, would you believe me if I told you that out of every single strong safety from 1987 to 2025, he ranked number 1 out of? Would you believe that? I think you should, because it's true. He had a 10 out of 10 relative athletic score rating. He was crazy fast, running about a 4.4 40 time. His 20-yard split was 2.55. He had a 43-inch vertical, 11-foot broad jump. I mean, this dude was just flat out off the charts. And he comes with some pros and cons, as all these prospects do, right? He's got incredible size and speed. He's built like a linebacker, yet he has the speed of a skill position player. He's a little bit like Kyle Hamilton in the fact that he's a Swiss Army knife, okay? You can put him anywhere on the field, okay? He can play strong safety. He can play free safety. He can blitz if he needs to. He can play inside corner. You can put him anywhere. Imagine having 2 of those guys. Unreal. He's not the most efficient tackler, especially for a guy of his size. That's something to watch out for. And at times, he gets a little bit urgent in run defense. What I mean by that is he has a tendency to bite on the run a little bit because he loves hitting so much, which when somebody loves hitting that much, right, you take that and you kind of want to tweak that. I don't want to say tweak that, but you'd rather him be overly aggressive than under-aggressive, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So shout him out in the comment section down below. Name a player you want the Ravens to draft in round 1, whether it's a wide receiver, offensive lineman, edge rusher, cornerback. I don't care who he is. I don't care who he went to school. I just care that you let me know in the comment section. Let's talk number 2 target. Josh Conerly Jr., offensive tackle out of the University of Oregon. The Ducks, that is. And honestly, I think that Baltimore taking Josh Conerly Jr., just taking a tackle in general is legit if Stanley isn't re-signed. Okay? If Baltimore doesn't choose to give Ronnie Stanley a contract extension, he is in free agency, then I believe that tackle in round 1 is a legit possibility, and Josh Conerly Jr. is as legit of any of those options. Okay? You look at the top 5 offensive tackle rankings, comparatively to Mel Kiper, right? He has Will Campbell at number 1, Kelvin Banks Jr. number 2, Josh Simmons number 3. I believe the Mizzou tackle Mimbo has made his way into this top 5 as of recent in the past couple of weeks after his combine. I believe he's going to get taken far before 27, but you see Josh Conerly Jr. right there at number 4. I think he's going to make it all the way to that pick, and I would not be mad if Baltimore chose him if they don't re-sign Ronnie Stanley. But let's go back to the Ronnie Stanley aspect of this all, because I think they're really close to a contract extension, okay? Slick Rick Scoops, and I know what you're saying, Joey, there's a dog in that profile. There's no way this guy can be a reputable source. Well, he's actually nailed the last couple contract extensions. He nailed the Debo trade. Am I wrong, Coop? Did he just nail the Max Crosby extension? He nailed the Max Crosby extension as well. He tweeted this out just this morning, 6:09 in the morning, that the Ravens and Ronnie Stanley have a framework of a deal in place. An extension should be finalized soon. We don't know how soon that is. Could be today, could be tomorrow, could be sometime this weekend, but I believe Slick Rick. I think that's going to come out in any time. Let's talk edge rushers, shall we? Because my third target is edge rusher out of the University of Tennessee, good old Rocky Top, baby, James Pearce Jr. And one of the reasons I believe that he might be able to fall all the way to 27 is because of this recent report coming out a couple of weeks ago from NFL Draft Files, saying that there's some character concerns and that's allegedly they're causing his draft stock to plummet. The playoff team's director of playoff personnel said that he's in danger of getting dropped off our board and that there are a lot of concerns. Okay, so because of that, I think there's going to be a good amount of teams that might pass on him. And if so, if Pearce falls to 27, I'm pulling the trigger without even thinking about it. Okay, I've talked a lot about this guy's ceiling and what I think he can be in the National Football League, but I think it's all like he has all the potential in the world, okay? His size, meaning height, he needs to work a little bit on his weight. If you see his RAS right there, his relative athletic score. But his size, his speed, his athleticism, his ability to win a pass rush with speed, but also with power. He has incredible bend as well. He ran the fastest 40 of any defensive lineman in the combine. And I know these guys aren't just running 40-yard dashes at that position, but still, his athleticism speaks for itself. If he gets to 27, I'm taking him without thinking about it. So pick one of the three I just talked about. Is it Nick Emmanwori? Is it Josh Conerly Jr.? Or are you choosing James Pearce Jr.? Let me know in the comment section down below by giving me an E, a JC, or a JPJ. Coming up, I got some players to trade up for. Okay, like I said off the top, some guys I think might go middle of the draft, maybe late middle, that I think Baltimore can trade up and get. But before that, what you need to trade up and get is this awesome Ravens t-shirt, okay? Coop, we like to say on the channel that as the temperature rises, your swag level should rise as well. And that's why you got to get this at chatsports.com/Ravens t-shirt. Was $30, now it's only $20. Okay, it's the coolest shirt. It has a little bit of a purple rising look to it. There's nothing on the back, right? You're not going to get this massive logo, massive emblem. It's just a clean purple shirt with a gold Ravens logo, and you can get it for 33% off right now if you go to chatsports.com/Ravens t-shirt. Of course, the link to that promo is in the description and comments of today's video. So now let's talk about it. Some players to trade up for, some guys I feel like could be in trading range for the Baltimore Ravens. And the reasons I want the Ravens to make a trade so badly, especially in this first round, is because of all the draft picks this team has, okay? They can't even fit in this 10-column logo, okay, this listicle, because they've got 11 draft picks. When you are a team competing for Super Bowls, what do you need 3 6th-round picks for? What do you need 2 5th-round picks for? You don't need those. What you use those for, in my opinion, is to trade away to get assets to help you win now. I hope they are active with their draft picks. And if so, Matthew Golden is a guy I could see going early 20s, late teens, that I would love the Baltimore Ravens to trade up for. Okay, in one of my most recent mock drafts, we actually took Golden number 1 at number 27. However, I think that after the combine, Golden might have ran his way up into the top 15. Okay, but if he's sitting there in the early 20s, I would consider and I would trade up without even thinking twice about it. You look at what he was able to do this last year at the University of Texas, almost 1,000 receiving yards, 9 touchdowns, 4 drops. And what I love most about Golden is he shined on the biggest stages. Okay, the quarterfinal game against the Arizona State Sun Devils, the SEC championship game against Georgia. He had over 300 yards receiving in those games combined. He was just the best when his best was needed. He's got unreal speed. He could take the top off of defenses. And if he's sitting there early 20s, I consider trading up. You let me know. Should the Ravens take a wide receiver in the first 2 rounds of the draft? Okay, it's something I've talked about. It's something I've flirted with. I wouldn't be mad if they did it. I wouldn't be happy. You let me know how you would feel, and should they do it, give me a yes or give me a no. Let's talk defense again. Mykel Williams, edge rusher out of the University of Georgia. And as much as it pains me to say, because I hate the University of Georgia, they know how to coach up a player or two, especially on the defensive side of the ball. You think about how well a lot of those Georgia guys have transitioned from college into the NFL. I think the same can be said for Mykel Williams. If you look at the stats, it's nothing that's going to blow you off. It's nothing that's going to make your jaw drop. 26 pressures, 5 sacks, 21 tackles in 12 games played. He is a project, I will tell you that. But I trust his talent, and I trust what the coaches at the University of Georgia have been able to do over the last 4 years, okay? I think that he's got an incredibly high ceiling. I think he's going to be one of those guys who dominates in this league for a really long time. It might not show up year 1. Right? He might be a guy that you draft and develop through that year 1. Then year 2, he's your number 1 edge rusher without even thinking about it. But I trust his talent, and if he falls to 27, I'd be willing to take a shot at it. And if he falls to 23, I'd be willing to trade up for him as well. Let's talk wide receivers. Another one, Teteroa McMillan, pass catcher out of the University of Arizona. And I don't know if there's a single guy in this list, in this draft, that has had as much production as Tet has over the last couple years. He could be the most special receiver in this class. Okay? I truly believe that. We're yet to see what Travis Hunter is going to do. Luther Burden, I think he's going to be great. He has his flaws as well. Matthew Golden. But when you look at what he's been doing over the last 4 years at Arizona, he's combined 3,423 yards in the last 3 seasons. He's had 18 touchdowns in the last 2, over 2,700 yards in the last 2, 174 catches in the last 2. And for some reason, I've seen some mocks, Mel Kiper Jr.'s most recent, have him fall all the way to 22. And if he's there, I would love for Baltimore to make that splash. Okay, I love Zay Flowers. I love Rashad Bateman. But I think Teteroa McMillan could come in here in game 1, day 1, be the wide receiver 1 for this football team. Thanks so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Join us for the best coverage you could find on YouTube for the entirety of this offseason. Daily videos, sometimes 2 times a day. Live shows every Tuesday. You're not going to be covered better anywhere else. So hit that sub button.